What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's on with me today, and she is a culture reporter, a multimedia journalist that is a multimedia journalist based out of New York for the Washington Times. Her name is Juliet La Sala. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into journalism, but we're also going to ask her some get to know you questions. So without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Juliet. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Chris, for having me. I'm honored to be on.
I am honored to have you on, Juliet, and this is going to be a fun conversation. I'm looking forward to this. And listen,
Sure.
my first question to you is the same as it always is with everybody that's on this thing, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why for getting into the journalism industry?
So that's interesting, and it's kind of complicated. So
Hmm.
initially, I was actually in film and TV. That's how I started out, and I did a lot
Yeah.
of arts when I was younger.
Mhm.
And I majored in film and TV in undergrad, and I was at a point where I felt that my talents and my skill set would be properly used elsewhere. And when I was a child growing up and throughout my teen years and obviously my young adulthood, I would always watch a particular show with my family in the morning called CBS Sunday Morning.
Sure.
And I loved that show when I was a little kid and throughout, again, my youth and young adulthood. And I always thought, man, they have like the best job. They go out and they do these eclectic stories that you might not otherwise hear on like cable news, like, what's happening today. You might not hear about like equine therapy or what's happening in this part of the neck of the woods.
Right.
And I just thought the stories were very moving and inspiring. And I just thought, man, they have like the best job. But other than that, I put it aside for many years. And I remember I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was younger. I thought of even going to business school. And here's one sign that probably I should have gone in this direction. I remember I got into St. John's University Business School because I was interested in
Wow.
entrepreneurship at that point.
Yeah.
And I looked, and right next door to the class, like the business school intro. This was one like what 10 years ago, almost 10 years, 2017 or something like that.
Okay.
There was a class for journalism next door about for journalism majors, just talking about the program. And I remember thinking, oh, why didn't I apply to that? Like, wait, that looks really interesting. I should have done that. And then I didn't end up going to that school. I ended up going to the
Right.
new school actually for a year, undeclared. Again, I didn't know because I was really interested in so many things, and I just didn't know where to hone it in. Anyway, so finally, years later, I think it was 2020, early 2023, my mom was like, you should be going into journalism. I think that would be the right fit for you. And so at that point, like I was really struggling to find like what would suit my personality, what could I potentially make a living at. And that's when I applied to City University of New York's Craig Newmark School of Journalism. And I got into the program and I started the fall of 2023. I think I applied like January, February, or maybe even closer to the spring of 2023. I started
Sure.
school that fall. The rest is history.
I love that. I really do. And listen, I have many people that come on this platform, Juliet, that pivot, right? You start with
Yeah.
something like you say, film and TV, which is amazing because I'm a huge theater buff. I love theater plays. I love theater musicals. I love stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I love that. So for sure. And I love to hear that you pivoted and now obviously because it coincides, right? With the journalism and the film and TV, they really go together. So I
Yeah.
love that you to hear that for sure. Now, you talked about it. You went to that City University School of Journalism, but you started off at Fordham. And I want to know, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from those two schools? And if so, what were those schools?
Well, I want to be clear. I actually technically started out at the new school, and then I transferred to Fordham in my sophomore year. And the other
Mm,
schools that I had applied to, from what I recall, were similar. Like I think I applied to St. John's University. They gave me a lot of money. Manhattan College, and it was all for different things. Some undeclared. One was for a business school. Like I felt very. I didn't really have a focus then because I didn't know where I should put my energy and where I should put my interests and
for
how to
sure.
go about that. So that's what I recall. Again, it's like 10 years ago. I think a lot of SUNYs. I think I applied to SUNY Purchase. Um, yeah, Fordham as well, but I ended up going to New School for a year, undeclared. Then I transferred to Fordham, and that was actually more just to get more of a community feeling, like a campus feel that I wanted.
Sure.
Um, and, that was an experience. I ended up graduating again, film and TV, but were there other programs that I kind of bypassed? I mean, I would say I didn't really. It wasn't in journalism. Like I wish I had known then. I had that inkling, like I just said to you in St. John at St. John's University when I saw that like intro. Like these are for all the people that applied and went into journalism. And I saw that and I'm like, huh, why didn't I do that? And then I forgot about it. I took an intro to journalism course at the new school. And I remember me and that teacher kind of clashed. And after that, I was like, ooh, I'm just not going to do that again. I guess that's not a good fit for me.
Right.
So it was definitely it was not a smooth path here at all. And not like, well, that's just what I did from the get go. And here I am. It was definitely like one of those, like, what's meant for you will find you eventually, what ultimately suits you. And always I was told in my family that this might have been a good choice. It was always recommended. But it was later on, it was more like, I think you might be. But then, because my family's very much into the arts, or my dad's side, they're in finance or medicine, it wasn't like something that you just went into. So I would definitely be the first in my family to do this.
I love that. Okay. I ain't mad at that at all. Now, as a fellow, I'm going to assume you from New York. I'm going to assume that you
Yeah.
from New
Yeah.
York. Okay. So, as a
Yes.
fellow New York native, I got to ask all my New York natives that come on the show this: do you like street meat?
Street meat. Are you talking about like halal?
Yeah, like the
And
the the meat that be or like the cart meat, the cart stuff that's they serve you on the
I,
cart.
I mean, hey, if I'm having a hot dog, yes. But other than that, I personally do not. I love, by the way, I love international food. Like I will totally eat that at a restaurant.
For sure.
But it depends. Like I when I was going to school at CUNY, there was like a street vendor. I think it was like Middle Eastern food, and I ate. It was delicious. And there was like a line for this cart, but it looked like a restaurant cart. It wasn't like your street food on the street, kind of like mashing it together. Here it is. So I would say
Right.
typically no. If I'm buying like meat on the street, it's a hot dog from like the guy there, and I rarely do that. I think that's like a lot of tourists do that, but when I'm in the city, I don't typically like get a hot dog at the hot dog stand. Not
I
typically.
feel that. I typically ask people that's from New York, do they do street meat? And most of them say, nah, we don't. I mean, most people don't. It's kind of like a touristy type thing. Now, mind you, first time I ever went to the city, I got off on a mega bus, and it was late at night, and there was this dude. Now, I'm from the West Coast. I'm from San Diego, so I ain't never heard about no street meat. I ain't never heard nothing about that. So this guy said, "Yo, my man, do you want some street meat? Are you hungry?" And I was thinking that was kind of like a dirty type term. I was like, "What the hell is he talking about? Like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I don't know what. I don't want nothing street or meat at this time of night. It's too late at night. I just give me a Sprite if you got anything to drink." But my friend Chris moved there. We went to college together in Atlanta, Georgia. He moved to New York. He actually took me to a different cart, and he said, "Hey man, you gotta try the white sauce with the rice." Because I guess it was the white sauce with the rice on one of these carts, and I was like, "Man, I was hooked because that was pretty good." I was like, "Yeah, I can get
Okay. No, there's some solid carts out there. I've tried a
yeah
couple, but it's not often and not something that I'm like, I'm hungry. Let me go to that street vendor. Now, like people like my dad might go and get like a cup of coffee or like a croissant from like in the morning. You want like an egg and cheese sandwich or a
for
croissant or,
sure."
a coffee. But other than that, no.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it. I want to ask you some favorite questions, Juliet, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, so here we go.
Ugh.
Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh, now I'm a foodie, so this is kind of hard given that I like so many different foods.
Yeah.
But um, oh, oh man, favorite meal that I like to cook because each
I,
week it's kind of I like mixing it up.
hmm
All right, you know what? For the sake, you know what's popping coming into okay. Oh yeah, it's my favorite kind of chicken. I actually got it from the New York Times recipes. It's an
Okay.
apricot chicken.
Say
So
what?
you make like an apricot chicken. So
Okay.
you put like like apricot marmalade. You make with butter. You make that with butter, and then you put it
Okay.
all over the chicken with chicken broth. You roast that in the oven. I love that. Every time I have it, I'm never disappointed. I'm never like, oh, I could have done without this. It's always delicious. It's always moist. I love it. That was my
Okay.
one of my favorite.
Hey, listen, chicken, steak, and ribs are three of my favorite meats, no doubt about that. You know, when I do come down there for Fanatics Fest, I might have to pull up and see you, Juliet. I might have to say what's up to you for sure.
The apricot chicken, man. Or if you want to try it yourself before New York Times recipe apricot chicken, I can send it to you after this. It's really good.
Okay. Hey, I might just do that for sure, no doubt. Okay, here we go. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Hmm. You know something? That's a good question. Oh, I went. You know something? I had a good time. It's a tie between. I saw in 2019 or no 2018. I went with my friend to Imagine Dragons. We had a really good
Okay,
time. So I would say
good band.
yeah, or I went with my mom to the it's called the Whale, not Waylon Jennings, the Whalen, like they're whaling, the Whalen Jennies. And it's
Okay.
this trio of women that sing, and I went with my mom to that. So a cross between those two. I've also been to Paul McCartney. So that's
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, that's hard. But I'd say either of those three. It's hard to pick from those three because they're all really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely know Imagine Dragons. They're one of my favorite bands. Paul McCartney,
Yeah.
he's a legend. Who wouldn't know who he
Yeah.
is? Now, I got a Wikipedia to Waylon Jennings. I got a Wikipedia of that. I'm not sure about that one,
Yeah, they're like folk. It's like
but
folk music.
I love a good folk music as well. Like what's the artist that I consider kind of folk? Now Karan or Now Kahan, I believe his name is, or I might be saying his name wrong. He has a song called Drive Dial Drunk with Post Malone. It's called Dial Drunk.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I have to, yeah, that might be more country. So I have to, okay. I have to look that up. I don't know
Yeah,
that off
yeah.
the top of my head.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Favorite place I've ever traveled to. Ah, you know something where I fell in love with this place? I absolutely loved London. I loved
Okay.
that place. I just I loved Italy too. I really do. So, because I've also family there. So I love that place too. But London, I just I got like high off the place. I did so much there. I went to Stonehenge, then to like the little Cotswolds village, Bath. I loved it.
Okay, I'm definitely going to hit you up for some recs. I've never been to London, but it is on the bucket list for me to go there and definitely see
Yeah.
and check that out. Well, now, what kind of trip was that? Was that a family trip or a friend's trip, or what kind of trip was that?
I went with my mom there. I do a lot of traveling with my mom.
Oh,
And I
okay.
want to say all the other places she and I have been together, I've loved, really. I think I
Hmm,
haven't really there's haven't been any disappointments, but I just remember how absolutely excited I was to be there. I think it was also my first international trip. But also because I grew up with a lot of English culture. I'm also, part British Irish as well. I'm Italian and British Irish. Going there and seeing that culture there that I'd, already learned about and knew about, it was like all the stories your grandpa tells you brought to life, like Tower of London. I wish I saw more St. Paul's Cathedral, Stonehenge, going to Bath, all the little villages, going to museums. Like there were even more things I could have done that I didn't get a chance to do. Like next time that I know, it's like going to the place where, like, if you're interested in a particular type of culture, and then you go to that place. I know a lot of people feel this way about going to Japan, and then you
Right.
go and it's there. It's like same thing with Italy. I definitely felt that way, but it was more that was a different feeling when I was there. It brought up different emotions.
I like it. Okay, that's what's up. I like that. Now, I'm a sports person, so I'm going to ask you a two-part sports question. Okay, so here we go.
Okay. Oh,
Favorite
this might
sport?
I might be bad to ask this. Just FYI, means I'm an athletic person, but I don't keep up with sports.
That's
So just
okay.
letting you know.
That's all
Okay.
right. I appreciate it. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV, and favorite sport you like to attend in person. They could be the same sport.
Okay. So honestly, because I don't watch, like, I don't even really watch baseball. I used to, like, as a kid, go with my dad or something, or family, my cousin, to
Mm-hmm.
the baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
But I like watching the Olympics. Like when I see the
Okay.
swimmers or anything like that, whether it's winter, like I watch the Winter Olympics. I watch the Olympics. So any water polo, swimming, track, um, soccer, I watch it all. The Olympics are like this, like, sport that's very broad in general, but that's something that I will watch when it's on.
Okay.
As for like
I
my
was
favorite sport overall, um, that's a good question. I guess I'm gonna say track. I liked,
okay.
I enjoyed. It's a particular kind of sport. It's called handball, not
Yeah.
handball like that kind, but it's the handball. I liked that. I tried that when I was in middle school, high school. But I'd say track. I did that in high school. I loved running. Um, yeah, but I don't. Oh, basketball. I'd say basketball is my favorite. I got onto my basketball team, but I didn't end up going and doing it. Uh, and I'm not tall, so that's interesting. Like I got on the team, I was good at it. So yeah, basketball I'd say overall my favorite sport.
I
Basketball.
feel that. I listen. I'm not super tall either as a guy. I'm 6 feet, so I'm not super tall. But at the
Okay.
same time, I totally understand what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yes, basketball is my favorite sport, but I'm not a natural like guard. That's like a guard position. So
No,
yeah,
I'm 5'2", Chris. So I definitely, yeah,
okay, understood,
yeah,
understood. And
yeah.
listen, you look absolutely lovely, by the way. If I did not already say that, but you
Oh,
do. You look
thank
absolutely
you.
lovely.
That's very kind of you,
No
Chris. Thank
question.
you.
No question about that. Now, I'm a foodie. You mentioned it before. You're a foodie as well. I've been to the city a few times. There is some places that I have checked out, but I would like to hear it from you. What is your favorite restaurant to go out and eat at?
My favorite restaurant to meet at. Hmm, that's a good question. It has to be in the city.
No. I mean, it could be close by. I mean, preferably where you are. Yes.
Oh, I'm going to be honest with you because it's in where I live in Westchester County, right? I live in the Bronxville, Tuckahoe area.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my favorite restaurant around here, it's an Italian restaurant. It's called Rosie's. Oh
Yeah, I
my
know
God.
about
Like,
Rosie's.
I
Yeah,
just, Rosie's? Okay,
I
yeah,
do.
no, I love that restaurant. Yeah, I think I went with my friend about a month ago at like special occasions. I'm like, let's go to Rosie's. Like 2 or 3 years in a row, I went there for my birthday. I love that place.
When is your birthday?
April 26th.
Oh, so it just passed. That's
It
awesome. I
just
love
passed.
that. I love
Yeah,
that.
I
That's
didn't
what's
go this
up.
year. I didn't go this year for my birthday, but like previous birthdays past, I would go there
Oh,
because I think they're so good.
yeah, you can tell whenever you go to Rosie's and sit down, the food is just made authentically. It's so good.
Yes.
I love that. I love just going into Italian restaurants and places like that. Obviously, I am going to come back out to the city for Fanatics Fest, which is happening in the summer, sometime this time. When I do come out there, you and I, we definitely got to link up. I would love to do that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No
Now I
question.
have a question for you because I know you do sports reporting. How do you feel about the Knicks winning the NBA? They won like the championship.
Yeah, they're going to the finals. Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a long time for, since 27 years. They haven't been to the finals since 99. So since the turn of pretty much the century. It's a great feeling for New York fans because there was a lot of heartbreak last year, right? Last year was supposed to be their year where they took on Indiana and they lost. I think they learned,
Yeah.
they matured, but I also think some things fell into place for them as well. Obviously, with Indiana and not being as strong, Milwaukee not being as strong, Boston being eliminated early, Detroit, they didn't have to play them, which is the 1 and 2 seeds. So things aligned for the Knicks. They didn't have to
Yeah.
leave um, New York. They had home court
Yeah.
every single series. And
Yeah.
this now in the finals, whoever they play in the West, they're going to be an underdog because they got to go on the road to start the final. So
Right.
they have a great chance, though. Great shot. They've won 11 straight, and they're playing some good basketball right now.
Yeah. No. I'm curious to say. I think the last time I went to a Knicks game, I was a child. I was like 5 or 6. I think I went with my dad.
Wow.
I know the women's basketball team is really great as well. They're wonderful.
Yeah,
And
yeah. The
yeah.
Liberty is really
Yeah.
good. They just won the championship a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's a little rough this season. They're starting off a little rough this season, but that's
Yeah.
because of injuries. Sabrina was
Sure.
hurt, and then Brianna Stewart. She is getting older, but they're going to get it right. I think they're going to be one of the better
Yeah.
teams there this season for sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I listen. When I come there, I plan on trying to get to a Yankees game. I'm not really a huge Mets guy. I think the Mets are gonna be out of town. But Fanatics Fest, Yankees game, try to get to a W game. And like I said, definitely got to say what's up to you is for sure. No question about that. But
Yeah.
we'll definitely talk about that. I want to ask you about your day to day process. And the reason why I want to ask you about your day-to-day process is because as a journalist, no 2 days are ever the same. We're always doing something different every single day, have different stories, different people that we talk to. It's one of the reasons why we love to do our job as journalists, especially as a freelancer. I get to make calls and get to kind of pitch myself and pitch stories. And if you're interested, cool. Or
Mhm.
if you need a game covered, I certainly would do that for you. Talk to me, working in a publication, because I pretty much come from a print background myself, where you gotta,
Mhm.
write the story by a certain deadline. I don't know if you have to do page design at your particular publication, but I had to learn how to do page design at mine's.
Oh,
But talk to me about your day-to-day process as a culture reporter, and what exactly does that mean when you are a culture reporter?
so I basically cover arts and culture, entertainment. So it's pretty broad range.
Hmm.
I can do like fast files on celebrity news to little cultural gems happening around the country to some foreign stories. And then I'm also a feature writer, so a lot of what I write does get um, published, let's say on A1 in the Washington Times or something like that. So I kind of do a little bit of everything. And I think in my case, because I don't, it, with my feature articles, I don't typically have, in this particular situation, other journalists would be like, that's not my story, that's not my life. So I might have be in a unique situation. I don't have so far, and I am what, 4 months in, almost 5 months.
Right.
Yeah, 4 months. I have
Right.
not had very hard deadlines where it's like, you got to get this in by the 15th or we're out. I haven't had that so far with my feature stories. Now, with
Okay.
fast files, those are like, I do typically about 3 a day, and I get that in before noon. And they're usually like maybe 6 paragraphs, little paragraphs, you know, and they're kind of rehashing what's already out there, but I'm writing it for the Washington Times. So
Right.
let's say, uh, just making something off the top of my head. The Devil Wears Prada, like major success, like box office hit or something like that. I write about that, let's say for Washington Times, or even something like I did something about like different species, ocean species, like 1,000 new ocean species have been found. That still technically falls under because it's like even though it's science technically, I can
Yeah.
add elements of that to my
Right.
stories. I just don't do anything typically. I've done a few political, but it's more like more direct news, right? Like this is what's happening, less like your typical political reporter. But yeah, so it's not like sports, no politics, no, it's not local news. So
Right.
it's national but culture related. And I've done a lot of stories, like feature stories, but the problem with that is that each day it really depends because, as you might know, it's not like people don't get back to you right away.
Mm.
And you sometimes have to wait like weeks for people to just like to really have the foundation of the story down. I
Oh, for
thought,
sure.
you know,
Yeah.
I had this like fancy email attached that people be like, oh, you know, Washington Times story. Okay, I'll get to cracking. And no, like people will take their sweet time, especially if they're busy themselves. You know,
Mm.
uh, who knows? They have their own life. They're not like they're not being paid. I'm not paying them to do this story with me.
Right.
So you know, sometimes it's just waiting out and in the meantime doing what my editor asked me to do, and waiting for people to get back to me so I can write this story. I have like weeks in advance a story that I want to do, and it's not published until like 2 months, published, like done, over with by 2 months until after I've pitched it. That's how long sometimes these things take. Maybe a month, but feels longer sometimes.
I can imagine. No question about that. You know, long form stories of what you're talking about, human interest stories. When we write a lot of words, sometimes, you know, sources fall through. Sometimes when you call people, you're just waiting on the tip of your, you know, the tip of your thumbs pretty much to be like, okay, when are you going to reply? When can I get my quotes? When can I talk to you? And stuff like that. I totally understand that. I get that. What time do you typically start in the morning and what time do you typically end?
So technically my workday starts 8 a.m. I work 8 to 4.
Okay.
Um, and that's when I do my fast files in the morning. Those are like the 3 articles. Usually my editor sends me what he wants me to write about.
Right.
Sometimes I can pick and choose, but it takes a while because then I have to find like stories that fit and they might have
For
already
sure.
been written about. So I have to double check that. But yeah, that's what I typically do. And that all has to be done usually before noon. Occasionally, like today, they'll say, hey, we want you to do one more. And it's like 2:30. But typically it's all before noon. And then the rest of the day, they expect me to, you know, reach out to people, work on a feature, pitch, whatever. And I have to do
Yeah.
videos as well. So sometimes they'll ask me to do a video. And that's when I have like some of my equipment set up and I put on the light, I put on my phone, and then I send it to the DPs, and then they do all the editing and everything like that.
Right, right. And explain to people what DPs are, because they might not know when they watch this. What are
Director of
DPs?
photography. It's like the director essentially. Director of photography. They do all that. They're like
Absolutely.
video editors, really
Yes.
videographers.
Yes, which we definitely have at most publications. Or if you're a very small publication, you have somebody who might do multiple different jobs and might step in and help out with the video editing for
Yeah.
sure. Because you know, certain publications are very short staffed and don't really have all the bodies that are necessarily needed for these. And trust me, I definitely know about that. Working in about four of them prior to me going to freelance, for sure. But
Yeah.
it brings up a great point because now I want to talk to you about mental health and work life balance. And the reason why I want to talk to you about these two things, Juliet, is because I've seen many people walk away from this industry because their mental health was affected. I've seen many people walk away also because their balance could not get balanced. Me personally, in my opinion, I don't think you can ever get balance in this industry 100%. I just don't think so because of the long hours and because of the variety of days in journalism. Some days are just going to be longer than others. Some stories are going to be breaking news stories. Some stories are just going to be very short. And it's not always going to be a home run type of story, right? So I
Oh,
say all that to come up with the question of how do you keep your mental health strong, but still try to maintain work life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful woman to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you at all, and I think your friends and family feel the same way about you. But you seem very
that's very
passionate
kind.
about journalism as well. So how do you maintain that and not get overwhelmed and burnt out?
So I want to say, first of all, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. And
You're welcome.
I take my health and well-being, and when I say health, I don't just physical and mental very seriously. Um, I go to therapy. I'm very open about that. I think more people
Okay.
should. I don't think mental health, anything like that, should be a stigma. People should talk about what's happened to them, how it affected them, and how it affects them in the present day.
Right.
As it pertains to my work, um, I have been very, very blessed. I want to start off with that. A
Okay.
lot of people my age are still looking for work, or they're in jobs, they're interns, or they're looking for things that might not fit right now, but they need work. I got a job where I get to work remotely for the time being. Um, the Washington Times is obviously based in Washington.
Yep.
Um, so, to answer your question about work life balance, I make sure always to exercise and get outside. I'm not, I cannot sit for, I know sometimes this job, it's like you're sitting for hours on end and you're typing, you're working, your eyes like are stuck to the screen.
Yep.
It's not healthy. You got to get up and out. So I try even during my lunch breaks, I take a walk. I go to the gym. I do these things that are necessary for my mental well-being. But I'm also very lucky that I don't right now in my career. Now, 5 years from now, who knows? But right now, I don't have to get up at the crack of dawn, get on a train, get into the city, rush hour, come back. Other people have to do that.
Right.
Um, and that is a different dynamic that you have to deal with, right? Then how do you have time for all these things? And I've had plenty, even my neighbors say, like, oh, I'm so burnt out. I hate having to do this, even on a hybrid schedule. They try to like work remotely one day from home. So I think it depends on your personality, where you work best. Um, you know, I realize how important it is for me to focus. It's sometimes hard for me to focus. And now I'm going to be moving in about a month. No, not a
Oh.
month. Excuse me. It's June 1st. I'm going to be moving very close by.
Oh.
Um, and I'm finally going to have like a little office space that I can use. But if when I don't have that and I'm very easily distracted, I see how it affects my work. My editor can see it and he can get pissed sometimes.
Sure.
So I, you know, I've been very lucky that right now in my career, I'm not like, I'm going like 10 different places and I have to do this and I'm a mom and right now I'm just at the beginning of my career technically. And I'm just like, okay, like we're testing the waters now. We're seeing how am I managing with this? And I'm lucky because I'm working remotely. So I have a little more freedom in certain areas that other people might be like, no, I can't do that.
Right.
I can't
Right.
take a walk when I need to take a walk, but I make sure to do those things because it's essential for me to focus and do a good job. And I need sometimes the quiet, even soft music I can do, but in order to focus on what I'm writing and to do it well, I need the quiet. So a lot of it has to do with environment and how we're implementing like self-help strategies throughout the day. Um, and that's what I've been doing so far. But I know other journalists have very different experiences and lifestyles, especially like breaking news. They've got to run out and go someplace.
For sure.
So each journalist has a different experience, definitely.
No, no, no question. I appreciate your transparency, by the way, Juliet. Therapy is
Yeah.
something that I definitely encourage people to do. It was a point in time in this industry that people was kind of afraid to mention that they would go seek
Yeah.
help, professional help, right?
Yeah. No, those get
And
it all about that. Yeah.
and that's great. And I love that for you. I really do. Because, we all have, like I said, loved ones, right? We have family, we have friends that will tell us things, but it's always good to have a neutral party, especially somebody that's a professional that, is not gonna, tell you just something that you want to hear, but tell you something that you need to hear. Right. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always encourage people, especially people that just graduated from college. If you're going through something, yeah, have that outlet of calling, maybe mom, dad, sister, brother, or a family relative, but also have somebody professional too that gets paid to do
Yeah.
this. That's
Yeah.
qualified to do it, and
Yeah.
and and there's
Need someone.
programs now.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. Continue.
No, I was gonna say that there's programs out there where not programs. I'm saying there's companies and businesses that will offer to pay for that, because some businesses, money wise, it comes down to where you can't afford it. And I think there's a lot of stations and publications out there that are willing to help you get the mental health that you need. And there's some
Right.
out there also that care just about the bottom line too, that put your mental health to the back burner. You have to make that professional decision for
Yeah.
yourself. So I love that. I love that you said that. I love the fact you said you work out. I'm definitely gonna work out a little bit later tonight. I typically don't work out late at night because I like to work out as soon as I get off of school. But sometimes my schedule just don't permit that. But I definitely like to get at least 5 to 6 days in of a nice workout. Sometimes other days are lighter than others, but I gotta do something, right? And that's
Yeah.
just I love that. I love the fact that you do that. I
It's
want
all
to,
very important holistically for your well-being.
yeah,
You know, taking the time also for I think a spiritual practice,
for
whatever that
sure,
may be. It doesn't even have to be religious practice, whatever that is that suits your well-being. I think some kind of meditative, self-reflective practice is important. I think all of that is important for ultimate well-being, because a social, proper social life, all those things, if there's something missing there, it can, you can feel that part of your psyche, like, you can feel yourself losing it a little. And that's why it's almost like maintaining a well-balanced diet. You have to have that in your life as well, because you'll feel the effects of that. And there should be no shame. People who are traumatized and they don't realize that a lot of their behavior is the result of beliefs that they have from the past. You need sometimes someone to be objective in talking to you about, why you think that way and what happened and how to change that. And if that's really true, are your beliefs true? Because feelings aren't always facts.
right.
And, you need definitely pushback sometimes, because if we're in our own heads, it's too busy.
I love it. I love that. I want to ask you about advice. I'm almost certain that there's people that are interning at the Washington Times or may have interned either there locally in New York where you're at, or maybe people that that are friends that come up to you that may just be curious about what you do. But what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to be that wants to be a multimedia journalist like yourself?
My advice would be to focus as much as possible on trying to find as many internships, fellowships as you can, and to make good connections there. It's hard because sometimes not everything works out. You get rejections a lot. But I
For
noticed the
sure.
people that are really put their energy and focus into finding the internships, making good network connections. Those are the ones that end up succeeding in this field. And it can drain your energy. So like it's not easy, but where there's a will, there's a way. Like you have to have that drive to like, at all costs, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to
Right.
find a way. If I don't find a way, I'll make a way. And a lot of artists
Right.
have to do that. Journalists too go into that. But that's honestly what I did. I'm going by experience and what I see my peers doing too. My peers who were like, I'm going to hustle to find work and, make my resume top notch and work with a career counselor at my school. That's what I did. I worked very closely with my career counselor.
Yeah.
I practiced interviewing. I was not lackadaisical about that because I was intent. Like, I'm a certain age too. Like, my health insurance is going to fall. Let's say, once you reach 26, I'm 27 now, but like, you know, um, I was very intent, almost like a survival instinct. I think if you feel like, oh, I have something to fall back on if it doesn't work, you don't have that like fire under your ass, to be
Right.
honest, where you're like, I've
Absolutely.
got to find something, I've got to make something of myself. And you
Yeah.
feel that push and that drive, almost like a survival instinct. So I'd say just use all the resources you can to better yourself, professionally. Use your career counselor, ask them to touch up on your resume or your LinkedIn profile. Get new professional headshots if you have to. Like, do the very best you can to appear as professional as possible on that front. And the rest will kind of figure itself out. You'll find something that suits you down that road. Do the cover letters. Don't like not send a cover letter. I know it's annoying, but like, yeah, you got to send a cover letter. I was telling my dad that too. Like, no, Dad, you got to put in a cover letter because
Right.
you think like everyone knows that, but no, that's not universal. These little things add up. These little things.
I appreciate that. That's a solid answer, Juliet. And obviously, you gave solid answers so far, all conversation long. It's a question worth asking. No question about that. Because, like I said, people's advice is paramount in this industry. It's not just about what you do, but it's also about who you know. Everybody is probably not going to have a degree, but there's going to be a lot of people with degrees. So now you got to try to separate yourself from the flock. And how you do that is resume, portfolio, stuff like that, being persistent, what you're
Right.
talking about. I always tell people all the time, be a Swiss Army knife. Don't just limit yourself to just wanting to be a writer or just be on TV. Like, learn as many skills that you can, because damn it, if you do, you're going to be more attractive for different kind of companies, and then also for yourself as well. Because the more
Yeah.
you learn, the more eventually you will want to go and kind of be a freelance type of person. Maybe that might be your field of what you want to do. So I always say, be a Swiss Army knife. Don't just do stuff
Yes.
on print. Don't just do stuff on broadcast. Do both. Um,
No, I
and
completely. You want to seem like you're multifaceted and that you can do a bunch of different things in this job market, especially
for sure.
when you seem like you can only do this and the road is really narrow.
Mhm.
That's when it can become difficult to show that you can juggle or you can do different things.
Absolutely. Me being in this industry for 9+ years, I've seen it, right? I'm in my 30s. And I know for a fact, me in my 20s, I definitely wasn't mature enough to really, really understand this industry. Because I always tell people, this last advice was that in your 20s, your intent is probably going to be to go, 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 go. Early 20s is what I mean, like 21, 22, when you graduate college, because you're green,
Right.
and you really don't know anything, right? You're probably moving to an obscure place because your professors have told you you got to pick up and move, and you got to do this, you got to do that, whether it's broadcast or print. But as you get older,
Yeah.
you start to realize, okay, you know what? I can do this, I can do that, I can say no here, I
Right.
can say no there. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. You start making decisions about where do I want to move? Do I want to be here long term? Journalism is a job where, you know, you pick up and move. You relocate quite a bit. I've
Yeah.
relocated 3 times. No
Oh.
question. So
Yeah.
I also, lastly, before I get to the next question, I tell kids and definitely college kids that this is the A side of journalism. The A side of journalism is the storytelling side, the stuff we love to do, talking to people,
Mhm.
interviewing people, and just creating great content for not only our, the viewers, but just people in our community, because we want to be pillars in our
Right.
community. But there's a B side, and the B side is pretty simple. You do miss time with your family. You do miss holidays with your family because news and sports never stop. The two genres we do. You do get
Right.
called back into the office at times. You do work long hours at times. If
Right.
this is something that bothers you with those particular things, then I always say this is not the industry for you. You don't get paid a lot of money outright either. You got to grind for your money for sure. So I always say you cannot half-ass this industry. You can't half-ass it. You can't have one foot in, one foot out. You either all in or you're all out. And either or is fine. But you gotta
Right.
be all in if this is something that you want to
Right.
do. It's beautiful to do, but
Yeah.
some people do it for the wrong
Right.
reason. That's why I say that.
Right. Yeah. I think, especially as a freelancer, I imagine it could be like that if you're a broadcast news anchor where you're expected, something happened abroad, you got to get there.
Right.
Um, you know, right now I'm very lucky that I work for an organization that I get paid time off. I get 401k benefit. Like it's
Yeah.
like a salary job where you
Yeah.
work 8 to 4. They're not right now expecting me to work at 8 o'clock. Like, hey, we want you to do a story now. But that's because I'm in a different mode of journalism right now. If I were
Right.
a breaking news reporter, if
You'd be
I were an
different.
international reporter, if I
It'd be
worked for,
different
CNN, Fox, any of these MSNBC, and they, the war in Iran or something, they want me there, or Ukraine, or whatever's happening, they want me
for
there. There's
sure.
a UN meeting, they want me downtown. I think that's where it depends on what kind of journalism you do. Um, because I've seen the job opportunities out there, and some of them do say, yeah, you might have to work some holidays. You might have to be called in, at certain times. Maybe your hours are also really funky. It's like really early in the morning, and then your day ends at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So
No
it
doubt.
definitely is different for everybody, and not everyone has the same experience. It seems sometimes you get that like stable salary, like more or less 9 to 5 job, and then other times it's up and down, and you have to do your taxes yourself, and it's not automatically taken out because you're freelance. The experience is different, I think, for each journalist.
For sure.
From what I've noticed.
I like that. I like that. Okay. Okay. So we have reached a portion of my podcast now that we're going to play my interactive game, Juliet, and it's called This or That. It's a game that I
Okay.
like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's very simple. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, are you ready?
Okay. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather go in, sit down, and eat at? Texas
Okay.
Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Longhorn Steakhouse.
Okay, I like that. How do you like your steak?
Actually, medium well, not like rare or anything like that. No,
I love it.
not
I
really.
love it. I'm with you. I'm with you
Medium
on
well.
that, girl. We vibing right now because I like my steak the same way. Let's see if we can keep this thing going. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor would you rather put on the wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Oh, that's hard. I'm gonna. You know what? For right now, for chicken wings. I'm gonna go with lemon pepper.
Okay.
But I
Do
like
you
barbecue.
like it?
That was
Do you
hard.
like your wings wet or dry?
Wet. But I
Okay.
know that's in. Yeah.
Okay. I like it. No, I like wet wings. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
So you like to get messy with it.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't.
Listen,
They just
hey,
taste better to me.
listen, you got a friend in me. I don't mean to sound like James Taylor, but you definitely got a friend in me. No question about that. That's for sure. I like that. Okay. Again, we are still vibing. Let's see if we can do this with these next 5 questions, though. These next 5 questions have to do with music concerts that you rather attend. Now, if I ask you,
Okay.
Juliet, what genre of music do you mainly listen to? You would say what, or would you say I listen to everything?
I listen to almost everything, with the exception of a few genres. I listen to pretty much everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, what would be a couple of those genres that you don't listen to?
I don't listen to rap or trap or um.
Got you. I like
Let me
rap
think.
or
Yeah,
trap.
I don't listen to. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think those are mainly the two because everything else, rock and roll. I don't. I'll listen to blues, but I don't listen to a ton of it. But I'm not against it.
I
I
got you.
even have a few rap songs. I'll listen to a few rap, but those are not the genres that I typically. I don't listen to a lot of jazz, even though I
You know
like
what I'm saying?
jazz. I've nothing. I like jazz,
I got
but it's like
you.
not on my repeat. But I
Okay.
like it. I have
Okay.
no problem. Yeah,
Okay. I'm with you on that. Now,
like
see, like,
I like Louis Armstrong or Frank
oh,
Sinatra. So, but
okay.
I don't. But I don't listen to them daily. So again, everything I listen to really everything. I don't have like a, but mostly alternative, pop, rock, folk. That's kind of where I tend to lean.
Okay. So I love all different kinds of genres myself. I'm a huge genre person. Listen, as you are going to probably give me the recipe to that chicken, I'm gonna have to get you some
Oh yeah.
rap songs that you're gonna have to go in and listen to. I think you would enjoy. I'll get you a list. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be right. Okay. But this first concert is gonna be alternative. Okay. So here we go.
Okay.
Which music artist would you rather go see in person? Would you rather go see AJR or Maroon 5?
Maroon 5, just because I'm not familiar with AJ Arn.
Mm, okay. See,
I
I
don't
like
think
both.
maybe I am, and I have to look him up. But
Okay.
that's off the
Okay.
top of my head. That I know Maroon 5.
Got you. I love me some Maroon 5, by the way. Okay. Which
Yeah.
music artist would you rather go see in person? Would you rather go see Panic at the Disco or Imagine Dragons?
Imagine Dragons, just because I know their music very well.
Oh,
I know
okay.
Panic at the Disco too. I like their music too, but I might go for Imagine Dragons. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tougher one. Here we go. Which music concert out of these two artists would you rather go see? Rihanna or Beyonce?
Oh, Rihanna or Beyonce? Rihanna.
You sure?
I think so. Because
Okay.
I know wait, you know what? Because I'm thinking of Rihanna songs that I like, and I have more Rihanna songs than Beyonce songs. That's why.
Okay. I can rock with that. I can rock with that. Now, which music artist out of these two would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay. I like that. Are you a Swiftie?
I actually love her music, but I can't call myself full Swifty because that is a very specific group of people. I feel like that they have I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a Swifty, but I love her music. I listen to her music. I was
Okay.
not a fan of the last album. And Swifties would be like, "How dare you?" But like that album, the last album, I was disappointed.
Yeah, it had a couple songs, but that's about it. The Fate of
I was
Ophelia was good. I like that one. That was okay.
okay.
That was all right.
Okay.
That was all right.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, my I'm not a Swiftie either. However, Wildest Dreams is my favorite song of hers that she's ever done.
Okay.
That's
See,
my favorite.
I literally have songs from every album but this most recent one. I was kind of I was disappointed to say the least.
I
I
feel you.
mean, some of them were good, some of them were fairly decent, I guess, but I
Mhm.
wasn't vibing with it. I
Okay,
wasn't vibing with
I
it.
can feel that. I can feel that. Now, last of the concerts. Out of these
Okay.
two artists, which music concert would you rather go see? Which I am going to personally see this concert coming up in August here in Syracuse. Usher or Chris Brown?
Usher.
Ooh, okay. All right. All right. I ain't mad at that at all. Listen, both of them are pretty good. And I like that. So let's go back to sports. Which of
Okay.
these two sports, if they're on your television, which of these two sports would you rather watch on TV? Football or hockey?
Hockey.
Okay.
Something different.
Which sport of these two would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton.
Really?
Yeah. And you know
I,
what? I kind of take that back about the hockey or the football. I'm actually going to go back to football because hockey, I feel like I've never actually given it a chance to watch that. But every time I watch football, I'm as you can probably, I'm just not like I don't. And yet I will watch the Super Bowl, maybe mainly for the halftime show. So I'm going to take that back. Football, and what was the second one? Badminton. Yeah, because I've played badminton before. What was the other one? Bowling. I've done bowling.
yeah,
Eh, but yeah, badminton I've done. That's actually kind of fun.
it is fun. It is. I love both
Yeah, bowling's
sports.
fun too, but like bowling, I like moving around a little more.
Okay, I can dig that. Now, do you like desserts and sweets?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna name four categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these categories to get rid of. So here we go. The first category is cookies. The next category is candy. The third category is ice cream. The last category is grouped together pies slash cakes. Which one are you getting rid
Okay.
of?
Candy.
Girl, you on point like a period. That's what I would say. I mean, just like a period too. I like that. Okay. Now, if I ask you, Juliet, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? You would say.
Oh, that's hard. Oh, I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna say chocolate, but I don't like. It's not like immediate. I will have strawberry. Like I have strawberry in the freezer right now, so it depends on my mood. But I rarely just get vanilla. I'm never going in. I'd rather if you said like chocolate, like what's something that would be constant? I'd say chocolate ice cream.
Got you. Now, see, I want to ask this bonus question because I've had a lot of ladies on this platform as journalists and media and different people in different occupations, and a lot of ladies have said it depends on my mood of ice cream, of what I'm eating. Explain to me, as a man, what type of mood do you got to be in eating what flavor of ice cream that you got to eat, so I can just help me understand that.
No, I think it's if you want, for example, if you have like Ben and Jerry's, some of them are like they have brownies in there. They've got like chips or like chocolate chips. I think it
Sure.
depends. Like, you want something clunky in your mouth or do you want something smooth? And so that's where it's
Mm.
like your mood. I guess I can't explain the mood thing. That I can't. Maybe like where you are in your cycle. I can't figure that out. But other than that, uh I would just say what you're more like depends on what you're
Okay.
in the, like your flavor. Like you want something a little
Right.
more rich or you want something smooth.
Got you.
That's what I think that's what they mean by mood. Like
Okay.
how do I want it to feel in my mouth? I love, again, it's like no sponsorships or anything, but Jenny's ice cream. I love Jenny's ice cream. That is so it's expensive, so when you go and see that price, your jaw might drop. But like it's so good. I love that ice cream.
Man. Okay. Listen, I was just always wondering because I've had many ladies come on here and say, well, it depends on my mood. Like, I don't know what mood I'm gonna be in, and I'll eat this flavor, but I'll eat this flavor, but it just depends on
Yeah.
the mood that I'm in. And I'm like, what the hell are they
Mood, yeah,
talking
I
about?
can't say like I'm feeling angry today or sad and I
Right.
want no, I can't. I think they
Right.
mean like you're how do you want to feel eating it? Do you want it the texture? I
Ah,
imagine.
okay. Because every
Yeah,
time
I
I
think
every
that's
time
what
I
they mean.
eat
I'm
cookies
not
and
speaking
cream,
for
or
them
every
though.
time I eat chocolate chip cookie dough, I feel good.
No,
That's the
yeah,
mood I feel.
me too. Yeah, no, but if you don't maybe the idea of cookie dough that day is like gross.
I got
So I think
okay.
that's what he's like. Was something intriguing or gross?
Okay, I'm with you on
Yeah,
that. Now, do you like potato chips?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so same format. I'm gonna ask, or I'm gonna say, sorry, four brands of potato chips that you can eat. One of these brands got to go. So here we go. First
Okay.
brand is gonna be Pringles. The next brand is gonna be Doritos. The next brand is going to be Lay's. The last brand is going to be Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
What was the first one you said? Something Doritos kind of grossed me out.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go for that. I haven't had them in years. Something happened. I liked them as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I got grossed out,
Okay. So let
and
me.
since then I
So
haven't had it.
so Juliet, if you and I are walking in the grocery store, and I say, Juliet, go to the chip aisle and buy your favorite chip to eat, you are buying what?
I typically with chips, I get what's the brand? Kettle. I think it's called Kettle something.
Oh hell
Um,
no. Oh no.
yeah, no,
Oh
that's what
Lord.
I've gotten recently. Yeah,
Huh.
and honestly, I've been getting chips too often. I've been getting popcorn.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
That's
I'm gonna tell you like this. We was smooth sailing on the boat, and then you just decided to jump off of it. But that's okay. That's all right.
okay.
I'm extending the hand.
It's
I'm extending the hand to get back onto the boat because I don't want to see you floating away on the water. Okay. Here's
no,
my
no,
rant.
I mean, I like the sour cream and onion lays.
Okay,
So
listen, you coming back. You coming back home. I like that. You coming back home. I like it.
okay.
Now all you got to do is tell me that in a sandwich you put your chips in a sandwich. Do you put your chips in a sandwich and eat it like that?
No, Not
Oh,
typically, no. Pickles, yes, but no.
okay. Well,
No.
you done fell off the boat again. I'm gonna just tell you. I'm
No.
gonna tell you like
Maybe
this. I'm
in a
gonna tell you like
salad.
this.
In a salad, that sounds good.
Oh Lord. Okay. No, I'm gonna tell you like this. Here's my rant before I get to the next question. The three worst chips ever made is kettle chips. That's three. Whoever made kettle chips need to be just destroyed.
The
God bless your
brand.
heart.
The brand. Wait, I'm not talking about the sweet chip.
I'm talking
The
about any
brand.
kettle chip, any kettle chip
Oh,
brand.
okay.
Period. It
Okay.
don't matter.
Okay.
Number
Okay.
two is salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar chips, they got to go. Mm-mm.
Okay.
That ain't it. But the worst chip ever made in the history of the world is Funyuns. Whoever made Funyuns, you just need to just slap yourself hard
Okay.
because it's bad. It's awful. Those Funyuns are just terrible and they're not very good. Um,
Okay.
that's just
No.
my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the chip master, it seems.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, listen, I definitely deem myself as a person that is a foodie. I'm a true chip foodie. But listen, uh, one person's disgust is another person's like, mwah, it's gonna be good, right? So that means
Right.
there's more kettle chips on the shelf for you to eat, right? So
Right.
there you
Okay.
have it. There
Okay.
you have it. I like it though. You did very good on this or that. My next question to
Thank
you.
you.
You're very welcome. My next question to
I
you
want to
now
say
is talk.
one thing before you go. I'm at 3% battery. I was at a full, I was at a pretty high battery when we started, and now I'm at 3%. So if all of a sudden I blank out or something happens, that's because I'm at 3%. Just letting you know.
Well, no problem. No problem. You want to go get your
Yeah.
charger?
Do you mind? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
One moment.
No, you good. We are rocking with you. No problem with that. Obviously, we're just getting done with this or that. Um, this or that went very well. No question about that. I thought it was great. Um, although that chip take, oh Lord. Don't eat the chips with the sandwich, but eat pickles with the sandwich. And for those of you that do eat pickles with the sandwich, again, God bless y'all heart. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Um, that ain't it. Uh, we gonna have to stick to the wings and the steak when it comes to Juliet and the Italian food. Rosie's is off the hook. We can definitely get Rosie's, no question about that. On here with Juliet La Sala, multimedia journalist, culture reporter for the Washington Times. As she has advocated, she works remote. Obviously, the Washington Times would be in Washington, but she is based out of Bronx. So we are here on the Work Hard Play
Bronxville.
Hard.
I'm based out of Westchester, Excuse me. I'm based out of Westchester County.
Westchester County, right?
Bronxville. Yeah, Westchester
Bronxville.
County. It's Bronxville, Tuckahoe. I'm like right at the border right now, and then I'm moving to like Bronxville, Yonkers, so right that border. So,
Okay. So
but it's still Westchester.
which of the five boroughs is your favorite?
Manhattan, because I'm from there.
Okay, Manhattan. I got you. I love that. I love that. Now, this next question I'm going to ask you is called bucket list, and the reason why it's called bucket list is because I want you to speak this into fruition. I want you to give me a top four list of events or stories that you would like to do in your journalism career that you haven't done yet.
Oh wow, that's a big question.
It is.
Wow, that might be one of your, that's really hard, and that's maybe one of your best. Uh, okay. I'd love to do something broadly international. So I'd love to do
Love
something
it.
where I'm required to go to another country to do that
Okay.
story. And it should be culture related. Um, so that would be ideal. Domestically, I'd love to do a story about something inspiring, whether that's a small business owner that's, thriving after a difficult period, whether it's a historical piece. So something domestically, I love that. And I'm very into travel, so I don't mind if that requires me to go to out of state, someplace different. So, what did
Sure.
you say? The top four stories?
Oh, yeah. Top four events or stories you would like to do in your journalism career that you haven't done yet.
Okay, so those two, and anything that takes me back to that brings out a sense of nostalgia, like a nostalgia story. Um,
Okay.
Something that is like a cult classic, brings out a lot of nostalgia, and that you go to that place. I'm thinking of like really some old school things, like I know the town that like where It's a Wonderful Life takes place. They do like a very special commemoration, I think, for that during the holidays, or
That's a
like the
classic.
Von Trapp family house, like something nostalgic. So something international, something domestic, and about someone that's like come out of a hard time and grown something really interesting. I'm already thinking like the top of my head, who's a great story for that? The Lost Kitchen, the woman that started the Lost Kitchen. I'd love to visit her. She's great.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, one international story, one story about someone who's come out of a hard time and is thriving, a nostalgia story, like visiting the Von Trapp family farm or the place where, A Wonderful Life took place, something like that.
What
And
about a
then,
red carpet? What about a red carpet event? Would you like to do that?
oh, I would totally go to a red carpet event, but that's if maybe my story is being honored. If I'm going to, I'd love to go to like the Oscars, but I would want it to be something related to my work. I don't have like I want to interview a celebrity necessarily. I don't have that like celebrity, unless it has to do with a book or something important, like a film, a book,
Okay.
something like that. But I would love to go on the red carpet, but I would want it to be for like through a different angle, like my work is being broadcast, or I'm
Okay.
invited because as a journalist, it's not like simply necessarily to like, oh, here, I have a question for you. But if I were asked to do that, I'd be very grateful to do that. So I have no problem with that.
Okay. I love that. I love those four. Those are all four. Those are all four different ones.
Sorry.
No, no, you're okay. That means we in New York, baby. We in the city, so I love that. That's what's up.
I'm not in the city. I'm in suburbia. I'm in Westchester
Suburbia.
County.
That's happening in suburbia.
Yeah. I live
Oh,
near a train. Yeah, because
wow.
this is Bronxville, Tucka. If you look it up, it's a town in Westchester,
Yeah.
and it's very much walkable. A lot of trains, cars. People drive around here too, but it's not technically New York City. It's like 40 minutes outside of New York City. It's right
I
on
was about
top
to
of the
ask
Bronx.
you.
So
Okay, I was about to ask you how far is it out? So hold on. Are you closer to Jersey or New York City?
no, I'm closer to the Bronx. I'm right above the Bronx, so it's Manhattan, then the Bronx, then Westchester County.
Got you. Because obviously, I know the Bronx is Yankee Stadium. That's where Yankee Stadium is the Bronx.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know about Penn Station too, and them rats that they got down there. Them
Oh,
rats is crazy, no question about it. But I do know about Penn Station and catching the sub down there for sure. Okay, that's what's up. We talked about
but I'm
advice.
from the city.
You would get.
Born and bred, born raised in the city. So
I might need a tour guide too, because like I said, I've been there a few times, but it's been kind of scattered around. So
okay,
I might need you to show me some places there in New York.
sounds good.
That sounds good. That's what's up. I like that. Now, we talked about advice you would give someone, but what is some advice that someone has gave you, Juliet, that you hold on dearly to?
Hmm, that's a very good question. Uh, throughout my life, people have given me a lot of sound advice, um, and I think it's hit home during different phases. Um, but I think something about the idea of you're not responsible for what happened to you, but you're responsible for aiming your life in a certain way despite that, and that we can't blame everything on what happened to us, because sometimes what happens to us um, would still happen anyway. We think, oh, if only that happened, or if only this or that. And that was very eye opening for me and helped me to
Right,
stop placing blame in so many different places. Because yes, there is blame. We can blame people for certain things, but things can also still turn out a certain way despite everything going well, or you think going according to plan.
Sure.
So I think that was maybe some recent sound advice, but people have given me very good advice. You know, I'm inspired by stories. I'm inspired by people's, coming out of hard times, coming through. And usually it's the people that didn't, let other people's negativity get to them. And so I'm
Right.
inspired by people who do that. But I'm also like my own, you have to be your own role model. And, so that's a very good question. I don't know if I'm fully answering it because I know people have given me little tidbits of advice. My mother does, therapists, family members, friends, but they're all interspersed throughout my life. It's not like one solid thing that I can think of.
Right. No, I understand. I understand. It's a plethora of people that you're saying
Yeah.
that have given you 411 as far as advice goes and how to kind of navigate yourself through, uh, the easy and the hardships of life. Right. So I get that.
Exact
I totally get
friends,
that.
family, yeah, across the board.
Okay, I'm with that. And listen, this has been a really dope conversation, Juliet, of just learning about your why, learning about your journey, learning about you being from New York and also working at the Washington Times, being a culture reporter, having a broad span of reporting like space to be able to report on so many different things, but not just on so many
Yes.
different things, to be able to have your undergrad, I believe your master's as well, if I'm not mistaken, to be able
Yes.
to give great advice, but also learn some things about you as well. It has to feel special in your mind to be able to work at a job. You talked about being blessed, but how special does it feel that you can stay at home pretty much in New York, where you're from, and then be able to work as a journalist from all your hard work that you did in college and what you've done now? How special is that for you?
Oh, like I said, I feel so incredibly lucky. I know how lucky I am. My family, even they can't believe it. My grandpa was like, "Am I going to wake up and this is going to all be a dream?" Like, I feel incredibly lucky, incredibly blessed. And every day I'm like, I'm just so grateful that I have this opportunity and that I'm doing this. I never take it for granted. That's for certain. Because I know it could be much different. I could be in a much different spot. But I really put my heart and soul into finding something like this. But
Mhm.
I didn't know if I thought I might have to move to DC. So I didn't know necessarily. They were the ones that said, "Oh, no, we want someone in New York. That's
Right,
okay. You can." So, but I applied with the intention that, I might have to move there. And I was not big on moving to DC right now. So that's another, like, thank God I gave it a chance anyway.
right, right. Absolutely. DC being about 4 hours away from New York, for sure. Maybe like three and a half driving. I know bus wise, I should say, it's about 4 hours away for sure. But
Yeah.
I wanted to say again, thank you, Juliet, for coming on my podcast. Work hard, play harder. And I really do appreciate your time. My final question to you tonight is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, journalism, or anything at all before we conclude?
I'd say never give up. If you want something in your life, don't give up. Don't let anybody tell you, you're not good at this, quit, stop. If you believe in yourself and you have a focus, an image in mind. I know this sounds very like everybody says that, but I'm proof of that because I've been insulted and put down too, where people are like, "This is not for you. You did a bad job. Quit." No, if you have an intention in mind, you keep going and put that vision board up, put up what you want, and manifest what you want. Put all your intention into that. Pray about it. Think about it. Heal. Do your best to heal. And yeah, that's my sound advice for now, at least.
I
Put your mind to it.
appreciate
Don't
that.
let.
I really do.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that. And I really do appreciate that. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. You know, you and I will most certainly be in touch. I think you're absolutely amazing. I'm a new fan of yours and looking forward to your future endeavors and your future work that you put out. So, again,
Just as
enjoy
well.
your Wednesday. No, thank you so much. Again, enjoy your Wednesday night, and you and I will most certainly be in touch.
Thank you so much, Chris. Have a great evening. Bye
You
bye.
too.
You did it. You did a long show.